Are you ready for whatever's coming down the road at us? You may be missing some critical aspects. Check this out. Hey, Provident Preppers, I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Kylene. And today we are going to talk about some critical preps that you just might be missing. We often focus on what we consider our number one prep, which is anything physical, your food, your shelter, your fuel, your clothing, all those kinds of things, which are really important and definitely are very high on the priority list. However, there are 7 more in additional to that I think it's really important that we all spend some time working on.
Number 2 is the financial aspect. Things like making sure that we're valuable in our employment, that we have job security, that we're working on doing things that improve that, working on getting out of debt. And then if you have the ability to put some money into hard assets, whatever that may be, gold, silver, land, whatever appeals to you, that's also a good thing.
And number 3 are our social and community preps. And think of this kind of like who's got your back and who can you bless and whose back do you have, right? We want to make sure that we're working together and sharing our knowledge, our skills, and even our resources with those friends and neighbors that we've learned to work really well with. We were just out to dinner the other night with some of our really dear friends, and I was thinking as we were talking to them, how valuable this little group of friends is just to help each other take care of their needs. And those needs might be physical, they might be just skills. How do I do this or how do I do that? The more we share and the more we build those relationships, the better off we're all going to be today as well as during hard times.
Number 4 is our emotional status. Are we working on becoming resilient? Are we working on doing things that make us strong and prepare us for, potentially difficult times ahead? Check out the card in the corner. It's an interview with Jim Phillips on such things.
And when it comes to emotional preparedness, I think it's really important to have that reason to live, right? Both today when we look out there and like everything is just hard and crazy and weird, and sometimes we don't really want to live in a world like that. But it's important that we do want to live. There's so much to live for. So we want to make sure that we strengthen that aspect and don't overlook it.
And
now, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm glad you mentioned that, because the books that I've studied on people who survive hard times, and that is one of the main reasons, probably the most significant reason, is there was something to live for, somebody that they needed to take care of, or some really strong, compelling reason why they were going to get through it.
And number 5 is physical health, and that is something that I am working on so hard because I have so many physical challenges. But it's important to really look at that and see what you can do to, whether it's changes in diet, in exercise, what we can do to get a little bit healthier, making sure that we're up to date on anything that we can do, like making sure you're going to the dentist and that your teeth are good and that you're keeping up to date with your preventative exams, just so that we've got a good control over what's going on and we can work toward positive outcome when it comes to our health. We want to enter into anything as healthy as we can.
And number 6 is our security. And this covers a wide area of things, but it's things like your home. What can you do to your home to make it more secure? Maybe it's lighting, maybe it's upgrading some windows or doors or some security screens. Whatever that looks like for you, see if you can get that done. Also things like your personal self-defense, whatever that looks like, and that's a whole big topic all by itself, but whatever you're comfortable with, whether it's martial arts or whatever that is, make sure that you're working on that.
And I think identity theft is another thing that in the world that we live in today, we really need to pay attention to, that we make sure that we are protecting our identity as much as possible. And we're just careful. There's such craziness going out there, and there's all kinds of people that have some pretty ill intent. And so we need to protect each other as much as possible from that. And then number 7 is actually one that I think probably should be number 1, and that is our spiritual preps, and making sure that we are right with God and that we have learned how to hear his voice, because as these challenges roll forward and things get crazier and crazier, the ability to follow the Spirit and understand what God is trying to tell us could do an awful lot as to protecting us and helping us know even what to store, because we're all going to be so different. We're all in different situations.
Number 8 is the legal aspects of our lives. And a lot of this is kind of centered on end-of-life kinds of things, advance directives, living wills, those kinds of things, medical power of attorney, things that we probably should all think about, in addition to things like a will and a trust. Those kinds of legal things are important for us to focus on, because they do have a tremendous impact on not only us, especially in our later years, but then upon those that come behind us.
Yeah, and we're all going to eventually die, whether it's sooner or later, and making sure that it's not a burden to those that we love at our passing. I think that that's really important. And we worked on some things there a lot, and getting our papers in order, and making sure that, because we divide the labor in our house, right? He has his specialty and I have mine, but it also means that if he's gone, some of those things that are his specialty, I will struggle with. So making sure that we know the passwords and that we know like the code to the safe or whatever, all those things are really important. Don't let this overwhelm you. I know that we've got 8 new things for you to do. Actually, they shouldn't be new, but 8 different areas that really are important to focus on. Food storage and alternative heating and cooling and all that stuff. Yes, that's really important. But these other things also deserve some of our time to focus on. And we encourage you to take some time and to do that.
And if you remember my motto, small, steady steps. So yes, don't get overwhelmed. Create your plan. And I encourage you to look at our action plans on our website. Maybe that's a good way to help you put these things in perspective, but then focus on the most important thing and keep making those small, steady steps, because those small, steady steps get us where we need to go.
And our website is theprovidentprepper.org. In the main menu bar, you can go there and it'll like have a link to the YouTube channel, and it's got some different, like a search bar, but one of the selections is action plans. And so just click on that. They're completely free, but it kind of helps you get started. So that's what he's talking about, theprovidentprepper.org.
Now for the question of the day. What goals are you working on? And are there some new things that you want to add to that list? Comment below. And thanks for being part of the solution.